What if the people who hurt you handed you a psychological weapon so powerful it could make them beg for forgiveness? Welcome to Jung Psyche Hub, where we uncover the hidden truths of human behavior through Carl Jung's profound insights. The best revenge isn't about fighting back. It's about living so authentically that those who betrayed you can't help but face their own shadow. Carl Jung's concepts of projection and individuation reveal why your strength terrifies them when you rise above their pain. You force them to confront their guilt, shame, or regret. In this video, we'll show you how to recognize their toxic tactics. Execute the ultimate revenge by becoming your truest self, and turn their betrayal into your triumph. Ready to transform their hurt into your power? Let's dive into Carl Jung's wisdom and make your life the ultimate comeback. When someone betrays you, it feels like a knife in the back. But what if that pain is a hidden key to your power? At Jung Psyche Hub, we're diving into Carl Jung's profound wisdom to uncover why the people who hurt you are exposing their own shadow, and how this sets the stage for your ultimate transformation. In this first part, we'll explore why your strength, confidence, or growth threatens those who betray you, sparking their desperate attempts to dim your light. Through Carl Jung's lens of projection and the narcissistic shadow, we'll reveal the psychological truth behind their actions and show you how to use their betrayal as a catalyst for your individuation. Stay with us. This is where your pain becomes your power. Carl Jung taught that the shadow is the hidden corner of our psyche. Where we bury the traits, we reject fear, shame, insecurity, or guilt. For those who betray you, especially those with narcissistic tendencies, their shadow is a chaotic mix of self-doubt and inadequacy, masked by a carefully crafted persona of confidence or charm. Carl Jung observed that these individuals rely on this persona to maintain an inflated ego, a fragile shield against their inner turmoil. But when you come along someone who grows stronger, sets boundaries, or shines authentically, you become a mirror they can't bear. Your light exposes their darkness. And according to Carl Jung, this triggers a psychological crisis that drives their betrayal. Let's meet Liam, a musician who faced betrayal from his close friend Sophie, a narcissist. Liam and Sophie collaborated on music projects, but as Liam gained confidence and started performing solo, Sophie's support turned sour. She began criticizing his work, spreading rumors that he was arrogant and untalented, and even sabotaged a gig by withholding key contacts. Liam was devastated. Why would a friend turn against him? Carl Jung's concept of projection explains this. Sophie's shadow, filled with her own fears of failure and envy. I couldn't handle Liam's growth. Instead of facing her insecurities, she projected them onto Liam, betraying him to protect her fragile ego. Why does your strength provoke such betrayal? Carl Jung's idea of the narcissistic shadow is central here. Narcissists, or those with toxic traits, project their flaws onto others to avoid confronting their own weaknesses. When you embody qualities they lack, like resilience, authenticity, or ambition, you become a living reminder of what they're suppressing. Your success or refusal to be controlled challenges their need for dominance, which Carl Jung described as a complex, an unconscious, emotional trigger that fuels their behavior. For Sophie, Liam's rise threatened her sense of superiority, pushing her into control panic, a state where she lashed out to regain power. This betrayal isn't random. It's a reaction to your power. Carl Jung's research suggests that toxic individuals thrive on keeping others small, feeding off the control they exert. When you break free, whether by setting boundaries, pursuing your dreams, or standing tall after their attacks, you disrupt their psychological game. Your independence forces them to face their shadow, which they've spent years avoiding. For Sophie, Liam's success was a mirror reflecting her own unfulfilled dreams, and her betrayal was a desperate attempt to dim his light rather than confront her darkness. How can you spot this dynamic early? Look for the signs. A betrayer may start with subtle jabs, like Sophie's early criticisms of Liam's music. Testing your boundaries to see if you'll shrink, they might dismiss your achievements, spread rumors, or guilt-trip you into submission. Carl Jung called this psychological reconnaissance, a phase where they probe for weaknesses to maintain control. If you resist, their betrayal escalates, revealing their shadow more clearly. Liam noticed Sophie's behavior shift when he started saying no to her demands, a sign that his strength was threatening her ego. What can you do when you see these signs? First, trust your instincts. If someone's actions feel off, turning cold, critical, or manipulative, it's likely their shadow reacting to your growth. Don't internalize their betrayal. Carl Jung's observer self encourages you to view their behavior as a reflection of their inner chaos, not your worth. Second, hold your ground. Your boundaries, ambitions, and authenticity are your strength. Carl Jung's path to individuation, becoming your truest self, means staying committed to your journey, even when others try to derail it. Try this practical step, the shadow mirror exercise. Write down 3 moments when someone's betrayal hurt you, noting what they said or did. For each, identify one quality in yourself, like confidence, ambition, or kindness that might have triggered their shadow. Then, list one action to amplify that quality this week, such as pursuing a goal or reinforcing a boundary. For Liam, this meant documenting Sophie's rumors, recognizing his talent as her trigger, and booking a new gig to showcase his music. This exercise, rooted in Carl Jung's shadow work, helps you see betrayal as a reflection of their darkness, not your flaws, and fuels your growth. Carl Jung reminds us that their betrayal isn't about you, it's about their inability to face their shadow. Your strength isn't the problem, it's their fear of their own fragility. By embracing individuation, you turn their attack into an opportunity to shine brighter. Stay vigilant, stay true, and let their darkness fuel your transformation. The people who hurt you thought they could break you. But what if their betrayal is the key to unlocking your greatest power? At Jung Psyche Hub, we're diving deeper into Carl Jung's wisdom to reveal the best revenge, not fighting back with anger, but living your truth so fiercely that those who betrayed you can't help but face their own shadow. In this section, we'll explore how embracing individuation, Carl Jung's path to becoming your truest self, transforms their attack into your triumph. By focusing on your values, goals, and authenticity, you become untouchable, forcing betrayers to confront their guilt or regret. Let's uncover how to make your life the ultimate comeback. Carl Jung taught that individuation is the journey to integrate all parts of yourself, light and shadow, into a whole, authentic being. When someone betrays you, they expect you to shrink, to carry their projected shame or pain, but Carl Jung's wisdom flips the script by choosing to live your truth. You disrupt their narrative and expose their shadow, the insecurities, guilt, or shame they've buried. This best revenge isn't about harming them. It's about becoming so grounded in your purpose that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. Your authenticity triggers a psychological mirror, forcing them to see the flaws they projected onto you. Let's return to Liam, the musician betrayed by his friend Sophie. After Sophie spread rumors that Liam was arrogant and untalented, he felt crushed. But instead of retaliating, Liam leaned into his music. He poured his heart into writing new songs, performing at open mics, and building a community of supportive fans. This was his individuation, living for his passion, not Sophie's lies. Over time, Sophie noticed Liam's success. His confidence and joy made her confront her own envy and regret, the shadow she tried to project onto him. Carl Jung's concept of narcissistic mortification explains this. Liam's rise wounded Sophie's fragile ego, making her question her actions. Why is living your truth the best revenge? Carl Jung's idea of the shadow shows that betrayers attack to avoid their own flaws. When you refuse to play their game by focusing on your goals, values, and growth, you create a psychological contrast. Your strength highlights their weakness, and their shadow guilt, shame, or inadequacy starts to surface. Carl Jung noted that this can lead to shadow integration for them, where they face their flaws, sometimes prompting regret or even an apology. But here's the key. Your revenge isn't about their reaction, it's about your transformation. Whether they beg for forgiveness or not, you've already won by becoming your truest self. How does this work in practice? Living your truth means aligning with your core values and purpose. For Liam, this was his love for music and his commitment to authenticity. He stopped seeking Sophie's approval and focused on creating art that resonated with his soul. This shift made him untouchable. Her rumors couldn't dim his light because he was rooted in his why. Carl Jung's observer self helped Liam see Sophie's betrayal as her struggle, not his failure, freeing him to pursue his path without distraction. By living authentically, you show betrayers that their attempts to control you were futile. And that's the ultimate victory. What can you do to start this best revenge? Begin by identifying what matters most to you, your passions, values, or dreams. Then, take small, intentional steps to live them out. Even in the face of betrayal, Carl Jung's Individuation teaches that your power lies in staying true to yourself, not reacting to their chaos. For Liam, this meant practicing daily, sharing his music online, and connecting with people who valued his talent. Each step reinforced his authenticity, making Sophie's lies irrelevant. Your life, lived fully, becomes a mirror that forces betrayers to face their shadow, whether they're ready or not. Try this practical step, the purpose anchor exercise. Write down 3 things that define your purpose. Maybe a passion like music, a value like integrity, or a goal like building a career. For each, list 1 action you can take this week to embody that purpose, such as pursuing a hobby, standing up for your beliefs, or taking a step toward a dream. For Liam, this meant writing a new song, performing at a local venue, and sharing his journey with fans. This exercise, rooted in Carl Jung's Individuation, anchors you in your truth, making you resilient against betrayal. Their shadow can't touch your light when you're living for your why. Carl Jung reminds us that the best revenge is not about destruction, it's about creation. By living your truth, you build a life so powerful that their betrayal becomes a footnote. Your authenticity is your weapon, and their regret is just a byproduct of your unstoppable growth. The people who hurt you thought their betrayal would break you, but you're about to turn their pain into your power. At Jung Psyche Hub, we're diving into Carl Jung's profound wisdom to show you how to execute the best revenge, living your truth so fiercely that those who wronged you are forced to face their own shadow. In this section, we'll reveal practical steps to embrace individuation, set unshakable boundaries, and transform betrayal into a catalyst for your growth. Through Carl Jung's lens of the observer, self and shadow integration, you'll learn how to build a life so authentic that their attempts to dim your light become irrelevant. Let's get started and make your comeback unstoppable. Step 1. Identify your core values. Carl Jung's Individuation begins with knowing who you are at your core. The best revenge starts by anchoring yourself in your values, those unshakable beliefs that define your purpose, whether it's creativity, integrity, or compassion. These values are your compass, guiding you through the chaos of betrayal. When you live by them, you create a psychological shield that no lie or attack can penetrate. Carl Jung taught that betrayers project their shadow, their guilt, shame, or insecurity onto you to avoid facing themselves. By staying true to your values, you reflect their darkness back, forcing them to confront what they've suppressed. For Liam, the musician betrayed by his friend Sophie, this meant embracing his love for music and authenticity. After Sophie spread rumors calling him arrogant and untalented, Liam could have fought back with anger. Instead, he identified his core values: creativity, perseverance, and connection. He focused on writing songs that expressed his truth, refusing to let Sophie's lies define him. Carl Jung's observer, self, the ability to step back and see betrayal as a reflection of the betrayer's inner turmoil, helped Liam stay grounded. By living his values, he built a life that Sophie's betrayal couldn't touch. Step 2. Set unshakable boundaries. Boundaries are your psychological fortress, and Carl Jung's wisdom emphasizes their power in protecting your authenticity. The best revenge involves saying no to toxic behavior and limiting contact with those who hurt you. Betrayers thrive on emotional reactions, but boundaries starve their shadow of the control it craves. Carl Jung noted that toxic individuals enter control panic when you refuse to play their game, escalating their attacks to regain power. By setting firm boundaries, you signal that their betrayal has no hold over you, pushing them closer to facing their own flaws. Liam executed this by distancing himself from Sophie. He politely declined her invitations to collaborate, stopped engaging with her criticisms, and avoided mutual friends who spread her rumors. This wasn't about cutting people off out of spite. It was about protecting his peace. Carl Jung's concept of individuation teaches that boundaries are an act of self-respect, allowing you to focus on your growth. For Liam, this meant more time for music and less energy wasted on drama. Each boundary he set reinforced his strength, making Sophie's attempts to undermine him futile. Step 3. Pursue your goals with purpose. The best revenge is a life well lived, and Carl Jung's Individuation encourages you to chase your dreams relentlessly. Betrayers expect you to crumble, but when you pursue your goals, you show them their attacks were powerless. This step is about channeling the pain of betrayal into fuel for your ambitions. Carl Jung believed that a strong why, your purpose, can help you overcome any how, including the hurt of betrayal. By focusing on your goals, you create a life that reflects your truth, not their lies. Liam turned his pain into purpose by booking more gigs and sharing his music online. He enrolled in a songwriting workshop, connected with new collaborators, and built a fan base that valued his talent. Each step forward was a declaration of his resilience, and Sophie's rumors faded as Liam's success grew. Carl Jung's observer self helped him see that Sophie's betrayal was her struggle, not his failure, freeing him to focus on his dreams. Your goals, whether a career milestone, a personal passion, or a creative project, are your rebellion against their attempts to dim your light. Step 4. Integrate your shadow. Carl Jung's shadow integration is a crucial part of the best revenge. Betrayal often stirs painful emotions, self-doubt, anger, or shame that live in your own shadow. Instead of suppressing these feelings, acknowledge them as part of your journey. Carl Jung taught that integrating your shadow means accepting these emotions without letting them define you. This process strengthens your authenticity, making you untouchable to further attacks. By facing your pain, You rob betrayers of their power to manipulate your emotions. For Liam, this meant reflecting on the hurt Sophie's rumors caused. He journaled about his feelings of betrayal, recognizing moments of self-doubt, but chose to see them as proof of his growth, not weakness. This shadow integration allowed Liam to heal without bitterness, focusing on his music instead of revenge. Carl Jung's wisdom shows that embracing your shadow turns pain into wisdom, making you stronger than those who hurt you. Practical exercise: authenticity anchor. To execute the best revenge, try the authenticity anchor exercise. Write down 3 core values that define you, such as creativity, integrity, or resilience. For each, list 1 action you can take this week to live that value, like pursuing a passion, standing up for yourself, or setting a boundary. Then, reflect on 1 moment of pain from the betrayal and reframe it as a lesson in strength. For Liam, this meant valuing creativity, writing a new song, perseverance, performing at a new venue, and connection building, a supportive fan base. He reframed Sophie's betrayal as a push to grow stronger. This exercise, rooted in Carl Jung's Individuation, anchors you in your truth, making betrayal a stepping stone to your power. Why this works: living your truth through these steps: values, boundaries, goals, and shadow integration creates a life so authentic that betrayers can't ignore it. Carl Jung's narcissistic mortification explains why your strength wounds their ego as you shine. They're forced to face their shadow guilt, regret, or inadequacy. Your best revenge isn't about their reaction, it's about your transformation into someone they can't touch. Stay focused on your why, and let their betrayal become a distant memory. The people who hurt you thought their betrayal would define you, but by living your truth, you've rewritten the story. At Jung Psyche Hub, we're diving into Carl Jung's profound wisdom to uncover why your transformation through individuation can make those who wronged you confront their own shadow, sometimes even begging for forgiveness. In this final section, we'll explore how your authenticity forces betrayers to face their guilt, shame, or regret, and why your best revenge, becoming your truest self, makes you untouchable. Through Carl Jung's lens of shadow integration and narcissistic mortification, you'll see that their regret is a byproduct of your unstoppable growth. Let's dive in and discover why your triumph is their silent torment. The psychological mirror of your authenticity. Carl Jung taught that individuation, the journey to become your truest self, creates a powerful psychological mirror. When you live authentically, pursuing your values and goals, despite betrayal, you reflect back the shadow of those who hurt you. Their shadow, their buried guilt, shame, or insecurity can no longer hide when your strength shines. Carl Jung's concept of projection explains why betrayers attack. They cast their flaws onto you to avoid facing them. But when you rise above their lies, embracing your purpose, you force them to see the truth they've suppressed. This confrontation with their shadow can lead to regret, and in some cases, a plea for forgiveness. Take Liam, the musician we've followed, betrayed by his friend Sophie. After Sophie spread rumors calling him arrogant and untalented, Liam chose individuation over retaliation. He poured his energy into his music, performing at new venues and building a supportive fan base. As Liam's success grew, Sophie began to unravel. His confidence and authenticity highlighted her own envy and insecurity, the shadow she projected onto him. Months later, Sophie approached Liam, apologizing for her actions, admitting she was jealous of his talent. Carl Jung's concept of narcissistic mortification explains this. Liam's rise wounded Sophie's fragile ego, forcing her to face the guilt she'd buried. Her apology was her attempt to reconcile with her shadow, triggered by Liam's unwavering authenticity. Why your strength triggers their regret. Why does your best revenge, living your truth, have such a profound effect? Carl Jung's shadow integration reveals the answer. When you refuse to let betrayal define you, you create a psychological contrast. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Betrayers, especially those with narcissistic traits, rely on control to mask their insecurities. When you break free, setting boundaries and chasing your dreams, you disrupt their power dynamic. Carl Jung noted that this loss of control can spark control panic, pushing them to escalate attacks. But as you continue to thrive, their shadow guilt, regret, or shame begins to surface. Your success becomes a mirror they can't ignore, showing them the flaws they tried to project onto you. For Sophie, Liam's success was a constant reminder of her own unfulfilled dreams. Her rumors failed to dim his light, and his authenticity forced her to confront her envy. Carl Jung's research suggests that this confrontation can lead to shadow integration for the betrayer, where they begin to acknowledge their flaws. In some cases, this manifests as regret or an apology, as they seek to ease the psychological tension of their shadow. But here's the key. Your best revenge doesn't depend on their apology. Whether they beg for forgiveness or not, your triumph lies in your transformation. By living your truth, you've already won, becoming someone their betrayal can't touch. The power of your transformation. Carl Jung's wisdom emphasizes that your greatest power lies in individuation, becoming who you were meant to be. Betrayers expect you to stay small, trapped in pain or bitterness. But when you choose growth over revenge, you create a life so vibrant that their actions become irrelevant. Carl Jung's famous quote, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become," captures this perfectly. Your best revenge is crafting a life that reflects your why, your purpose, values, and dreams. This transformation not only shields you from further attacks but also amplifies your inner strength, making you a beacon of resilience. Liam's journey illustrates this. By focusing on his music and community, he built a life that Sophie's betrayal couldn't shake. His performances, filled with passion and authenticity, drew people who valued his talent, creating a stark contrast to Sophie's negativity. Carl Jung's observer self helped Liam see her betrayal as her struggle, not his failure, allowing him to focus on his growth. As Liam thrived, Sophie's regret grew, not because he sought revenge, but because his success forced her to face her shadow. Your transformation, like Liam's, is a testament to your power, showing betrayers that their attempts to break you only made you stronger. Practical exercise resilience anchor. To solidify your best revenge, try the resilience anchor exercise. Write down 3 ways you've grown since the betrayal, perhaps a new skill, a stronger boundary, or a deeper sense of self. For each, list 1 action you can take this week to amplify that growth. Like pursuing a goal, connecting with supportive people, or reflecting on your progress. Then, write 1 sentence reframing the betrayal as a catalyst for your strength. For Liam, this meant noting his improved songwriting, new fan base, and confidence, with actions like releasing a single, joining a music group, and journaling about his growth. He reframed Sophie's betrayal as the push that ignited his career. This exercise, rooted in Carl Jung's Individuation, anchors you in your resilience, turning betrayal into a stepping stone for your triumph. Why you don't need their apology. Carl Jung's insights reveal that the best revenge is about your transformation, not their regret. While their shadow integration might lead them to beg for forgiveness, your power lies in not needing their validation. Your authenticity, built through individuation, makes you untouchable. Carl Jung's concept of control panic shows that betrayers lash out when they lose control. But your growth proves they never had power over your why. By living your truth, you create a life so full that their betrayal becomes a distant memory. Their regret is their burden. Your triumph is your freedom. Keep shining, not to prove them wrong, but to live the life you were meant to lead. Carl Jung reminds us that your best revenge is becoming the legend they never saw coming. Your truth is your victory, and their shadow can't dim your light. You've just unlocked the secret to turning betrayal into your greatest triumph with Carl Jung's timeless wisdom. At Jung Psyche Hub, we've revealed how the people who hurt you handed you a psychological weapon, the power to live so authentically that their shadow has nowhere to hide. By embracing individuation, setting boundaries, and transforming pain into purpose, you've become untouchable, forcing those who betrayed you to face their guilt or regret. Their lies couldn't break you, they only forged a stronger, truer you. This is your best revenge, a life so vibrant that their betrayal is just a footnote in your legendary story. Don't let their darkness dim your light shine brighter than ever. If this video ignited a spark in you, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join the Jung Psyche Hub community to dive deeper into your journey of self-discovery. Share this video with someone who needs to turn hurt into power. And drop a comment below. What's one way you're living your truth today? Let's inspire each other to rise above and become the legends we were meant to be. Your truth is your victory. Own it, live it, and let it soar.